Hi, it's Mel back with video 5 of 64. I kind of can't wait till we're in double figures. That'll feel like such an achievement. I'm all dolled up today. I've got my awesome lip on because I'm going to a concert tonight with my mum, but I thought I would make the most of it and film this week's video. So I think I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I chose drama school in general, and particularly why I chose the drama school that I'm going to, because everything up until now has been quite vague. Apart from the last video where I spoke about the auditions. So I think this is going to be really general and really cliche and really the same as everyone else that's ever applied for a drama school, but I have never not performed. As far back as I can remember, I would put on the, back when we had DVDs, I would put on a DVD of Shania Twain's concert in Chicago, the Up tour. And just funnily enough, my mum had the same boots that she wore. I think my mum's were white baseball boots and Shania wore yellow baseball boots. So I would put my mum's baseball boots on and I would put the Shania Twain DVD on, and my bed would become my stage, and I knew every move that she did. I didn't even have to watch it. I'd seen it that many times. I knew every kick of the leg, every flip of the hair. I knew everything and I just did it with her. And that is like the earliest memory I have of performing. And it's quite a funny one. I'm quite glad it's something like that. And I remember as well, one of my kind of earliest memories, there was people visiting. I don't know if it was a birthday or something, but there was people downstairs with my mum in the living room, and I was upstairs, touring to Chicago. And my Auntie Tracy came up to get me just to say, hi, yeah, like, we're in, how you doing? And when we went down, I was like, just let me finish my set. And she was very respectful. And when we went downstairs together, she opened the door and she went, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shania Twain. And everyone was all, clapping. And it's just such a funny, loving memory. And my mum has the most varied, eclectic music taste that I have ever known someone to have. We grew up listening to Nickelback, we grew up listening to Doris Day, we grew up listening to Shania Twain, we grew up listening to Elvis. It was just such a mix, and there was always music on. And that's how I want my life to be. I just want there to always be a backing track. So from quite a young age, I was in the school shows, and I was in Christmas concerts, and I was in the church choir, and I was always kind of singing. And then when high school hit, that was when I kind of started my journey into acting. My drama teacher was the best drama teacher. Worked hard to help me and gave me roles in the school show that, he thought suited me, even if I didn't think they did. I played Rizzo in Grease. I played the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. I was in Little Shop of Horrors. Just so much fun stuff. And yeah, I actually, when we were picking subjects in school, you had to pick a certain, like one subject from this column, one subject from this column, one subject from this column. Higher maths and higher drama were in the same column for me. And I'd done National 5, both of them. So yeah, I picked higher maths in the same column as higher drama. I picked higher maths because I thought that'll open more doors, and, boring, useless reasons that I'm sure we've all went through in our heads. Oh, I need maths, I need English. And then I came home after one day of maths, and I was crying to my mum about how I couldn't do it. And my mum, being the best person on this planet, I am so grateful that my mum was so supportive and is so supportive and isn't one of those parents that was like, no, you can't do arts, you need maths. She was like, well then don't do it. And so I went to my drama teacher, a little embarrassed that I didn't pick it in the first place, but I just basically said, I need to swap. And he was like, cool. And they let me swap, and that was it. I was doing drama, and I got an A in higher drama. And then the funny thing is, they didn't actually offer advanced higher in my school. My drama teacher had never taught it. It was never taught in that school before. And then one day, again, I had picked photography or something crazy, and I was sitting at lunch, and the drama teacher comes to the door, and he's like, and so I went outside, and I thought, oh gosh, what's happened? And he said, what would you say if I offered you advanced higher drama? What do you think I'm going to say? He said, now, I can't promise you, you know, he was very honest. He was like, I've never taught it before. This would be just as much a learning curve for me as it is for you. So, you know, don't get your hopes up. But if you're willing to do it and you're okay being a solo student and you're okay being my guinea pig, we can try doing advanced higher. And so I did. Of course I did. And I remember my mum as well when I was kind of trying to pick between music and drama for college, for uni. And I had said, I just wish it would, I wish it would hit me in the face. You know, I wish one of them would just be like, this is the one for you. And my mum went, it kind of has. Twice, you know. Twice you've went to give it up, or twice you've thought, and twice it's come back to you. And advanced higher drama was hard. It was really difficult for both of us, and I really cherish those memories so well because it was a lot of one-on-one. It was a lot of my drama teacher, Rob Stewart, trying to learn things alongside me to teach me. It was difficult, but it was so fun and it was so rewarding. And just having someone who had that much faith in you that was willing to start a whole new, it just, to this day, is one of the best things that's happened to me. And I ended up passing. That was kind of my school journey. And went to college. Now I did apply. My drama teacher helped me so much with applications. I did apply and I did do auditions when I was about 17. So I was quite young. I wasn't ready for it. I'm so glad I didn't get in. I got into, now I was applying for the undergrads, the bachelor's degrees, which are about 3 years long. And I didn't get into any of them. I got into East 15's foundation course, which is a 1 year long course before the degree. But there's no guarantee that you can get into the degree straight from that. So I ended up taking a HNC in college, which is HNC and HND kind of work out the equivalent to the first and second year of the degree. And then if you wanted to do the honours degree, you could finish it at college or you could go to uni and just directly enter the third year, which is what I ended up doing. So I did my HNC and my HND at New College, Lanarkshire, which thankfully was the campus that ran that course was in my town, so I didn't have to go far. And I loved that, and I have met some of the best people I've ever met in my life at that course, and I learned so much. I think I probably learned more about myself than the acting industry. I then took some time out and I worked, I think my part-time job at that time was in a hospital serving dinners to patients, and it paid well, and I did some overtime. And then I got offered someone who was doing the entertainment role was leaving halfway through and they needed it filled really quickly, and I'd applied for it and I didn't think I would get it, and then a week later I'm moving to England. So that was great. That gave me a chance to move away. It was really, again, I probably learned more about myself, but I was singing every night. We were doing like entertainment for kids, which isn't something that I can see myself doing again, but I'm so glad I did it. I met some really, really great people. I met some really, really interesting people. But I was performing like every night. It was probably the best first professional job in that industry that anyone could have, because it was a little bit chill. It wasn't too intense, but it was intense enough that it gave you a taste of it. It was incredible. And then when I came home, I got another temporary job, which was like at a Christmas grotto. So I was acting as an elf, but I actually had the manager role there, because it was an English company and they only had one location in Scotland, so they needed somebody to manage it. And because I'd worked with money and things at the caravan park, they gave me that. So again, it gave me a little taster of the acting industry, but it gave me a management role that I could then put on my CV. And then, you know, I then kind of went through a little bit of a tough time, which I won't go into, but I basically just got a job in an office to tide me over. And so, yeah, that was about 2 years I was in that. But I actually, while I was in that, went back to uni. So I'd applied for direct entry into the third and fourth year of a 4-year honours degree because I'd already done my HNC and HND. Got straight in to the third year. I ended up just taking a job in a cafe in a hospital, which is the cafe that I've just left. So that did me at the weekends while I was in uni during the week. Did amazing stuff with that uni. At first we were a bit unsure because it seemed quite academic, and it is quite academic because it's a university. The uni became 2 of the best years of my life because I met a really good group of people. Again, it's all people that are into the same things and are like-minded and have the same goals. This is where I met Jen, who is just one of my favourite people on this planet. And the group that kind of formed that I was in we were all returning students. We'd all been away from education for a while, apart from one girl who was younger, but she had the maturity of an older person. So yeah, we ranged from about Sophie was early 20s and I think Vic was late 30s. So there was a group of us, there was 5 of us, and we just got each other through because it's hard. You know, you had to write a dissertation in 4th year, you had to write essays and portfolios and do performances and learn scripts, and you sign up for it and it's great and it's rewarding and I'm 100% glad I did it, but it's hard. And if anyone's interested, my dissertation was written about this kind of the relation between trauma and creativity, and I was focusing on playwrights, specifically Luigi Pirandello and Sarah Kane, because I'm so interested in psychology. That's another thing that, you know, if I'm ever in a position where I'm fortunate enough to help out with different causes, I want the arts to become more accessible for people in Scotland, financially and even just location-wise. And I would like to help people psychologically, whatever that means. I want people to be more aware of what the arts can do for people and what the arts can do for psychosis and mental issues and trauma. It doesn't really get the recognition I think it deserves, and so that's something else that I would work towards. So yeah, uni is kind of the last step in the journey because, you know, everything that's happened since then. I have applied for drama school because my wonderful lecturer sat myself and Jen down and said, what are you doing? I've applied for drama school, I've applied for funding, I've been able to quit one of my 2 jobs where I was working 7 days a week. I'm trying to save, but I'm trying to also make the most of my last year at home. What the heck, that sounds so scary. When I moved away to England last time for the caravan park, it was only a couple of months. It was half a season and I loved it, but now I'm thinking, you know, the whole drama school process is a year, and you'd be stupid to go through all this and save all this money and fight this hard and work this hard and, you know, save and then go and do the course and then not stay there for a year to try and get some jobs. So yeah, that leads me to where I am now, and I'm just gonna keep saving and I think I might try and see if I can get like a little acting lesson a month, because the last thing I want is to lose my momentum. I'm trying to make, you know, healthier decisions with my eating and my exercising. I'm trying to really, I just want to be the fittest and healthiest version of myself. I want to be comfortable within myself, and I want to just grab this with both hands and squeeze it and never let go. But that's the kind of journey that's led me to here. I don't know what I'll be talking about next week. I feel like I have a plan and then every time the plan changes. I think actually at the beginning of this video I thought I was going to be talking about the individual schools and what made me pick the individual schools, which will probably be another video because we've got a whole year of this. But my plans never seem to stay the same. But I will be back with another video, so in the meantime, have a good one.